Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of نوير يدرس. Today we'll be speaking about social processes, attitudes and behaviors in the behavioral sciences topic. This is your host Mahmoud Noir. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and leave any comments for any questions you do have. And shall we get started? So we're gonna start with social facilitation. What is social facilitation? It's basically the idea that people perform better on tasks in the presence of other people. So you're in a group. According to social facilitation, you're supposed to perform better on the task you're given. And this is supported by the Yerkes-Dodson law that states that being in presence of others raises your arousal, which enhances the ability to perform tasks. How does it raise your arousal? So it's based on accountability and social pressure of, you know, your friends are studying, you want to study as hard as them, you guys motivate each other. And then you also have competition. Competition is also one of the most um, what do you call it? Most interesting and most important driving factors for success. So next we have the individuation. So loss of one's awareness in a group setting and adopts the group identity. Basically individual in a group loses ethics and morals. It's basically high conformity. You know, they lose, but here they lose awareness of themselves. They adopt the group's kind of morality. For example, you're a normal person and then you get, I don't know, brainwashed, for instance, to join a really dark secret bad group, you know, that does bad things, and then you lose all your ethics, and then you adopt their ethics and morals. Next, we have bystander effect is when the individual does not intervene to assist those who are in need when other people are present. So, for instance, you see a kid getting beat up, and then there are a lot of people watching. None of them intervene. That's bystander effect. None of them help them. And next, we have social loafing, tendency of team members to do less work or effort in a group setting. For instance, you got a group project, you're a group of three, you got a group project, two of you are working on the project, and then there's a third person that is, you can't really find them, or they're not doing any work, they're not contributing at all. Next, we have peer pressure. So peer pressure is associated with social acceptance. So peer pressure is basically, um, a social group that you want to relate to kind of pressures you into doing actions that are not really according to your ethics and your just your personality, and then you actually do it in order to gain the respect, or to, like, want to be accepted by them. And then identity shift, sorry, is in effect is due to change in beliefs due to peer pressures and internal conflicts. So peer pressure also causes identity shifts. Group polarization is the tendency for groups to collaboratively make decisions that are more extreme than individual ideas. So for instance, making a policy, or for instance terrorism, something like that. Next, we have cultural assimilation. A cultural assimilation is basically the process where the individual's behavior and culture resemblance one another culture. Actually, yeah, it's bicultural and not whitewashed. In some cases, though, it is whitewashed. So basically, with cultural assimilation, you let's say, I don't know, for instance, I'm from Egypt, right? And let's say, for example, my ethnic background is Egyptian, my culture is Egyptian, but I grew up in Canada, and I've lived in Canada for my throughout my whole life, and I adopted the Canadian society's behavior and culture, and kind of ditched my Egyptian culture. So that's cultural assimilation, that I'm kind of adopting a different culture and different traits that are not associated with my um, ethnic background. And then socialization is the process of developing and spreading norms, customs, and beliefs. And then agents of socialization that help inform the socialization is family, peers, school, and religion. Next, we have stigma. Stigma is basically extreme disapproval of person or group based on perceived difference from the rest of the society. Let's say, for instance, I don't know, Johnny has a stigma about not liking country music when the rest of the society, for instance, likes country music. Next, we have groupthink. So this is really important, so pay attention to groupthink. Groupthink is social phenomena in which the desire for harmony results in a group of people coming to the wrong decisions. So there are 8 factors to this. You got illusion of invulnerability. Members encourage risk and are too optimistic. They think they are um, mortal. All right, they take too much risks, and they're too optimistic. All right. Then you have collective rationalization. Members ignore expressed concern about the ideas. So let's say you propose an idea and then it sounds too good to be true, but there are members in the board, for instance, that say, how's that gonna work? This is not gonna work. So members ignore the expressed concern of this person. Next, you have the illusion of morality. Members believe morality of the idea is correct. For instance, let's say a company, in order to save billions of dollars, they're gonna dump their waste in the ocean, for instance, all right? So uh, members believe morality of the idea is correct because it's gonna save them tons of money. Next, you have excessive stereotyping. So construct stereotypes of those expressing outside opinions, right? So let's say you have a stereotype of a certain individual or a person with a certain background that expressing an opinion opposing to the main person's opinion, right? So they're gonna start stereotyping them and telling them, oh, it's because you're this or you're that. Next, you have pressure for conformity. Members feel pressure when they can't express ideas in a group. They have to kind of, adapt to the group's mentality. Let's say Johnny has an idea to rob a store, but no, morally, I think we can't rob a store, but because I feel pressure from the group, I can't express the idea that, oh yeah, let's not rob a store. And then you got self-censorship. Members withhold ideas that disagree with the group. Actually, the previous example I gave about Johnny and me was self-censorship, but pressure for conformity is, let's say there's an idea about, I don't know, a new basketball team, okay? And then we got Johnny. Johnny's got a great idea, but then you feel like your idea is better, but it's gonna oppose him. But you kind of feel the pressure that you can't say it. Self-censorship, on the other hand, is members withhold the ideas that disagree with the group. Let's go back to the example I said. Let's say Johnny says, let's rob a bank, alright? But I withhold the idea that, oh yeah, I don't want to rob a bank really, alright? Because it disagrees with the group. The group agrees with Johnny, let's rob a bank, let's make money. Next, you have illusion of unanimity. Illusion of unanimity is decisions and judgment to group without disagreement. It's like, yeah, sure, let's do it, I guess, I don't care. I just need to get out of here, such as this example here. So, um, let's say they come to a solution. Is this the only way we can actually save losses and stuff? And then they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then I don't care. It's like illusion of unanimity. People deep down have reasons and questions, but they just want to agree with the group. And then lastly, mind guards. They take on the role of protecting the group against the opposing view. So let's say you're the head boss and then you got like an assistant. This assistant like protects your views and kind of supports it even if it goes against their morals. Next, you have deviance, which is violation of the norms, rules, or expectations within society. Let's, for instance, say in your society, you have to be conservative, you have to wear conservative clothes, but then comes an individual who wears, I don't know, revealing clothes. So that's a deviance, violation of the norm in the society. Next, you have conformity, which is change of beliefs of behavior to fit in a group. All right, so it's kind of a mix of peer pressure and identity shift and kind of uh, de-individuation because you're changing yourself to fit in a group. And then you got functional attitude theory, 4 functional forms of attitude in life: ego expression, knowledge, adaptability, and ego defense. Next, you have learning attitudes. So attitudes develop through learning, so through direct contact, through direct interaction, through direct instruction and conditioning. And lastly, you have elaboration likelihood model. Attitudes are formed and changed through different routes of information processing based on the degree of elaboration. You got 2 paths, central path and peripheral path. So central path, you're processing like logical things. Peripheral path, you're really um, processing like I'm not gonna say intuition, but more of like the personalized or the kind of I wouldn't say artistic, but kind of the more abstract ideas of things. And that's it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe and leave a comment if you ever need me to cover a specific topic. And thank you.